Okay, so now having made our R&D decisions, we now need to create a sales forecast. And again, what we're doing here is we're doing the cake product for Team Chester in the traditional segment. And you have to do this for every product you have in your portfolio of products in your product line. First thing we have to do is we have to find out what last year's segment demand was. And that segment demand is in units. So we go into the courier report, and we look up here traditional statistics, and it says that the industry demand was 8067 at in this last round that just processed, and the growth rate is 9.2%. So what we do here is we go into this spreadsheet and we grab 8067, which we said were the number of units of demand, and we said the growth rate is 0.092, and you have to type it in as a percentage, as a decimal number, okay? And that means our new demand, and we're going to get rid of all those pennies there, all those fractional units, is 8809. And then what we have to do is we have to determine what we think our market share will be. Well, the way you would do that is you go back and you would look at your potential, and you would say, well, last time we could have had about 20, this looks like about, what, 22, 4, 25, 52, about, I would say, if that's 25, I would say about 24% is what our potential was last time. And I know we only realized 15%, but that was due to bad production planning and sales forecasting. So we're gonna go down and we're gonna make it about 24% is what we think we're gonna sell this year. Because we positioned the product well, we're gonna be pricing it better. I think 0.24 is a reasonable estimate. And so that then leaves with a sales forecast of 2,114. And I'm going to get rid of all the fractional values. Okay, and that's how you do your sales forecast. With that, you can now do your production planning. And you can see the spreadsheet here took the 2114 that we had from the sales forecast spreadsheet, and it just put it in here for you. Then what you have to do is you have to look at what your ending inventory is last round, subtract that, add any additional inventory you might want to have on hand in case other competitors stock out and people come to you for more product, and then that will tell you how much you produce right here. So this minus this plus that equals production requirements. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go into the courier and I'm going to see what our ending inventory was last round. And when I click on that, I go into the production analysis section right here, and I look and I see cake had 0 ending inventory. Okay, so that means that's because we stocked out, right? We didn't achieve our potential. We sold everything we had, and we could have sold more. We typed 0 in there, and this simulation seems to penalize you for having extra inventory. I'm going to just put a little bit in here, maybe 50 units, just in case somebody else stocks out due to bad forecasting. And that means I'm going to be, then I have something for those other customers, which means I'm going to make 21. I'm going to make 2164 units. Okay. Now the next thing I have to do, and that's what I would plug in for my production plan for that product. And again, this is for cake in traditional. The next thing I need to do is I need to figure out what my awareness spending is going to be. And this is how this works. First of all, we go into the Capsim courier report and we look for the traditional segment, and we look for our product cake, and we found out that our awareness was 58 and our accessibility was 52. So what we do is we grab the spreadsheet and we go to 58. We type 58%. The simulation subtracts 33% of your awareness, leaving you starting this next round with 38% roughly awareness. And then what you want to do is you want to get it up to a level of awareness consistent with your strategy. And if you look at the differentiator strategy in the various strategy documents you've been given, it indicates that you want to be aggressive in your spending in that if you're following that type of a strategy. So we want to get it up to what our competitors are. And you can see EAT is a very close competitor, and they're at 73%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to 75%. And that means I need to increase my awareness by 0.36. What it did was it took the target and subtracted the starting awareness, and that gives me how much I need to change and improve. And then I use the graph. There's no formula. I just look up 3614, which puts me right about, this is about 35, 36 would be right about there. I go straight across, and then I read straight down. It just happens to be just a little north of this, or a little bit to the right of this 1.5 million. So why don't I say 1.6 million is how much I'm going to spend. And I go back to this, and I go 1,600, 1, 2, 3. That's how much I'm going to spend as my first guess here. Okay? Now you can read this. If you get a new product, you get a free 25% awareness due to buzz about the product, people talking about it, etc. The next thing we want to do is we want to do our accessibility spending. Accessibility is how easy it is to buy your product. So what you do is you go into the courier again, and you look for accessibility, and for cake, it was, for this whole segment, it was 52%. Apparently, the accessibility is a figure that energizes every product in this segment, and I don't see there's any other products that start with C here, but if there was another C product for Chester, they would, any spending on cake would also make any other C products be more accessible too. So there is some advantages or cost advantages of having more than one product in a segment, because you get your accessibility helps all products in that segment with just one spend. So we're at 52, and our closest competitor, we're ahead of accessibility compared to everybody else. So I think our competitors are gonna try to match our accessibility next time. So let's increase this to like 56%. Not too much, because I don't want to spend more than I have to be the best, but I'm going to go, okay, so my starting accessibility was, sorry, what was it? 52%. My desired ending, I said, was 56, and so that means I've just got to increase it by about 4%. So if I go 4% is right about here, and I go across, that means I need to spend about, I would say, $600,000 in accessibility. So I go here, whoops, not that. I go to here, and I type $600,000. Okay? Now I know what those decisions are. And at this point I'm going to stop the video, but we have successfully figured out how to create a sales forecast, how to then plan production, how to decide what our awareness spending will be, and then what our accessibility spending will be as well. All in the spreadsheet. Thanks.